great to have you all back here at Real Talk, where the conversations are raw and relevant. We're up to, the third episode of season 2. It's come around so quickly. Every Tuesday, 7 a.m. Make sure you set your alarm and you can listen across all the podcast formats. And don't forget to rate and review. 5 stars every time, all right? I'm Katie Brown. I'm your host. And today's special guest is a very special woman. Not many have been through what she has been through in her off-field, on-field footy career. She is a Kiwi Fern. She is a proud Maori All Stars captain. She has also played for the Warriors in the inaugural NRLW and is now donning the Newcastle Knights jersey for the 2022 NRLW Premiership. And that is Krystal Rota. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Katie. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. It's so great to finally chat with you. We've had some great chats over the years. I first met you way back in, I think, it must have been 2018 when I started covering the NRLW, and you were playing for the Warriors back then. But to kick things off, before we get into your story and who you are on and off the footy field, we like to start things off with a fast 5. And these are quick ones. I want to know your pre-game ritual.
Pre-game ritual. Always start my day with a breakfast, obviously, which wasn't so earlier. So I always start with a breakfast, pack my bag, make sure that I've got everything in my game day kit. What else do I do? Have a shower to freshen up. Check my bag again, make sure I've got everything, and make sure my lashes and my eyebrows are sorted.
Absolute must. I love that. You got to make sure you're looking good on that footy field, all right? All right, second one. Do you have a famous crush on a famous person?
Oh, do I? Maybe Channing Tatum.
Oh, good pick. He's so pretty. Party trick.
Oh, party trick. Vortex.
What's that?
When you spin the bottle and it does like a twirly thing on the bottle.
Are you good at that, are you?
A lot of practice.
Okay, after the Knights Premiership win, I'll make sure I have it on record. Do you have a pet peeve?
A pet what, sorry?
A pet peeve, something that really annoys you.
Yes, I do. I'm a real clean freak, so just when people come into my house having stuff on their feet. You're one of those moms.
Yeah. All right, and last one, your first kiss.
First kiss. Oh goodness. Primary school. Kiss on the cheek.
Ooh.
Kiss on the cheek. Yeah, that's all. I don't even remember the guy's name, but I do remember it because I remember telling my uncle and he gave me a growling.
Oh, I love these fast 5. There have been some great answers coming through. All right, and we do like to say one word that best describes you. It is always a little tricky to pick one word, but Krystal, you've had some time.
Yeah, I picked the word resilient. Yeah, that's a word that I feel describes me and my journey as of late. So resilient is the word for me.
I think that's perfect. And I would like to say before we get into the episode today, Workplace Law on board. And this is awesome because we can't make this happen without a proud partnership. And Shane and Athena, the team there at workplacelaw.com.au, they can help female athletes. And I think that's really important because there's so many female athletes who are out there seeking some help. And if you need help with anything professional, or if there's any disputes, or if you need just some help in terms of like player contracts, sponsorships, Shane and Athena and the team there have your back. So you can check them out, workplacelaw.com.au. They've been really helpful with me. But Krystal, it's all about you now. And 36, whew, mature, but gosh, you're still playing like you haven't skipped a beat. It's been a while since playing rugby league. You got to play some Maori All Stars recently. Away from the footy field, who are you and how do you feel your day?
I am a mother of 2 children. My son is 14 and my daughter is 8. So I'm a full-time mum caring for my daughter. The last 2 years, she hasn't really been to much school because of COVID. So I've been doing a bit of teaching from home, homeschooling with my daughter, cleaning my house, which is always a massive task every day, cleaning up after my girl who makes a mess constantly after I clean one. So then by night time it's usually footy trainings, and early mornings I always get up, start my morning with a workout in my little gym out the back of my shed. That usually fills up my day as being a full-time mum. I know a lot of people think that it's not a job, but for real, it's actually a busy job.
It's a busy job in your circumstance, extra busy, I should say, because I know a lot of mums would appreciate that being a mum is a full-time job in itself. For you, little Nikayla, she has probably been on an extreme roller coaster ride, having a rare kidney disease, and you have been there by her side every step of the way. I can't leave out La Ricco either. He's grown up to be a charming young man, and you should be extremely proud of him, which I know you are. But maybe give us some background on just how difficult the highs and lows have been with your baby girl.
It's been a massive roller coaster. So from 5 weeks, we found out she had a kidney condition, and then she's been through so much since that 5 week age. She's been on dialysis. She's had multiple infusions. She's had bloods taken on every other day, so getting pricked and prodded all the time. She takes many medicines. I think at one stage she was on like 22 a day, but currently only on 8. So we've made a lot of progress over that time, so it's not all doom and gloom. We're sort of seeing lights at the end of the tunnel when we've reached them, and then we sort of get dark again and times get hard again. But I think just her courage and her bravery to get through everything that she's got through has been a testament to the amazing little girl that she is. And I just always it's made me so much more grateful for life in general and everything that comes our way, good or bad. We're still grateful, and I think that's the only attitude we can have, because if not, life could be absolutely miserable. So she's 8 years old now. She's been through the works, but she's back at school, which has been amazing. Since I've been over here, she's been on a streak of school attendance, so that must say that I'm the one that's soft and keeps her home. But her nana's been pretty stern with her while I've been over here in regards to getting her into a good routine. So she's back at school, and she's been able to have some sort of normality with things such as swimming in the school swimming pool, which was never possible because she has a tube in her tummy. So she's done those sorts of things, like little milestones like that since I've been gone. Are amazing to see, but also pretty sad for me not to be there and experience them alongside her. But she's an amazing little girl, and I could talk all day about her, but we haven't got that much time. But she's doing well now, so very grateful.
Wow, Krystal, she's amazing just like you. And can I say, the last time we spoke about her was 2019, and you actually told me the story. She couldn't go in the swimming pool because of that tube. And so now she's got to go in the swimming pool because she said she didn't want to be different. She didn't want to be special. Oh.
I'm glad you remember that. That was one thing that she loves swimming, so we'll swim at the beach, but things like not being able to swim with her schoolmates, and she just had to sit on the side of the swimming pool and watch. And now she can join. So, these milestones are always special and memorable. So very grateful that she can do that now.
Oh, that's cool. Very, very cool. The little steps are sometimes the most rewarding. And for you, a lot of people, and I know on yourself, you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and in past times you've questioned to continue your football career because it is extremely hard, and some people have questioned you on leaving your family to play football. But I think it's really important to explain this to listeners and people who aren't aware of your background. But why is it that you keep playing football when there's so much happening outside?
I think this is my me time, a time to express myself out on the field. A lot of people, I guess, get out there to sort of put on hits and, make themselves feel better. Mine is more through just expressing myself through playing footy, and also the connections that I have and I get to have, the friendships I make, the people I meet like yourself. There's so many people that I've met along my footy journey that have actually made the hard times easier. So despite, the chaos that's going on at home with my daughter and everything, just having the people that I've met through football has been a massive blessing. And, I just think even when I retire, just being able to still be in this space is going to be a positive thing for me to keep these connections and keep building connections with other people in this environment. So, yeah, it can be chaos at home, but this is my outlet and my time for me to do myself and do something that I'm so passionate about.
And not to mention how proud Nikayla and La Ricco are of you and make you continue to play football too.
Yeah, 100%. They are so proud. And, as a mother, you always endeavour to make your children proud, or as a daughter, my dad and my stepmom, I want to make them proud too for the sacrifice that they've given to look after my children, for me to be able to chase my dream and be here and doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at your decorated rugby league career, is there a time or a moment that stood out for you? It's possibly a little bit tricky to pick one.
I think probably the Maori All Stars in the inaugural year. I think I spoke to you that year as well. And it was really tough to be away from Nikayla at that time, because she had just been in hospital and she had just had quite a bad infection. So, she had had a large stay in hospital. So I was really anxious about leaving her. And then I got across here, and that was my massive worry. And then my cousin passed away 2 days before we were about to play, and I wanted to head home to be at the funeral. So I think that year was the most memorable because of all those hard things and, trials and tribulations that were happening back home. We're able to win that game, and I got the man of the match. So it was really special for myself, and a proud moment for myself and my family that was sort of going through something really tough back home.
Yeah, it's sport can be a beautiful thing, can't it? And particularly, I'll never forget that sit down. That was when I discovered a lot about you, and I feel like that's where our friendship built, and you trusted me and I trusted you, and yeah, it was a really special moment for myself too.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, in terms of moving the women's game forward, you've been around it since you were probably, I think it was 9 years old when you started playing over there in New Zealand.
I was a bit older, Katie. I was actually like 18.
Were you?
I started later, yeah. I started later in my career. I played netball all my life, yeah. So I started a bit, yeah.
So what was the...
I wish I started when I was that old.
Yeah, I wonder where here's me telling fibs on Real Talk. What was the tick to come across from netball into rugby league, I should ask?
So at school we had the first 15 for rugby, and I sort of wanted to give it a go and started playing rugby at school because we didn't have league at school back then. So I just gave it a go, and then I really enjoyed it. And then the same year, my uncle was coaching the local league team, so then I joined in and started playing rugby league, and yeah, never looked back.
Gosh. So then from 18. How much has that game changed, and are you proud of where the women's game's at right now?
Oh man, it's changed so much. It's changed so very much, and from my journey, I always think back to like my first year that I played, or that I was named in the Kiwi Fern squad, and we had a camp, and we stayed at a marae, and we ate in a wharekai, and we prepped our own lunch, like we made like ham rolls or whatever it may be. We trained down at a local school, and the fields were kind of like paddocks, and all the gear wasn't the flashiest. We had a couple of balls that were quite crusty and old, and the hit shields were as old as the hills. And then I compare it to now. We're living in a hotel, a service hotel, and we have buffets for dinner, and you got all the pro gears and everything she knew, and it's just so much more elite, the space now, and just how the females are treated. And I mean, it's still going to go a long way, but to see the growth in the space that I've been in the game has been enormous. And I'm just excited for the girls in the future that are going to be become full-time professionals like the men, and that's where I'd like to see the game for our future females.
You have such a great attitude, and it's probably tricky to stay in this fine line of being grateful but also pushing to make sure that next generation, including yourself, get to see the change. So in terms of trying to see that next step, do you, in the next 5 to 10 years, truly believe that NRL will do enough to build this women's game?
I really do hope so. I mean, we've got some good pioneers in the space to make that push and to keep guiding the game in the right direction. And I truly do believe if everyone sticks at it, and with the coverage that the women's game is getting, it's going to be hard to not do that, because it's growing so fast and the interest is just so massive. So if everyone that's currently doing their job and trying to be good pioneers for the game and trying to push it and progress it forward, I think it's definitely going to happen within the next few years to become full-time professional. I really do hope so.
Yeah, me too. Now, Knights, you've been named a club captain. Congratulations, and please explain.
Thank you. It's just fresh. So the captains were just announced yesterday. So we have a team captain who's Romy, and 2 club captains, which is myself and Caitlin. We were just sort of told that Romy will be the team captain in regards to, she'll run the team out on game day and do what a team captain does. And so being a club captain is a new thing to me. I'm not actually sure, but we were sort of told, that we'll just sort of help Romy in that role, and help share the workload as a captain. You have a lot of media events or community stuff. We'll just sort of back her up as needed. And that's about all I know what club captain is. So I'm yet to learn myself. So that's about all I can share about it until I sort of start filling the duty, I guess.
Yeah, well, I look forward to it. Hey, I'd also like to ask, Rugby League World Cup 2022, I'm sure it's a no-brainer that your eyes are firmly set on wearing that Kiwi Ferns jumper again. In terms of the work you've got to do to get there, how do you feel that your body is holding up?
I mean, time will tell. I've sort of got the mindset that I have to just take each game as it comes, even each training. It's still a fair way away, and we've got a whole NRLW season to get through, plus another one before the World Cup. So my mentality is just step by step in regards to how my body will hold up. I'm always optimistic and hopeful, and just trust in the process that if I keep doing the things I've been doing, that I hope to see myself there at the World Cup at the end of the year.
Yeah, what an achievement that would be. And just trying to worry about NRLW, and then you'll go back to New Zealand. For people who aren't aware, in rugby league, you don't get to participate in State of Origin. So you're prepared to then come back for a second season? I mean, it's a lot of travelling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a lot of travelling, and like I said, I sort of have to take it as it comes. And also in regards to my children, will depend on whether I can have that support that I have this time round. It's going to be a big ask to ask my stepmom and my dad to have my children pretty much the full year for me to come back again for NRLW and then off to World Cup. So, there could be some sort of sacrifice or some give that I could potentially miss out. I'm unsure yet. And I just have to see, what pans out for my parents as well with work, and how this kid's schooling is going. So I just have to take it day by day just to see what comes up and how things pan out for me.
No, we can't have an NRLW competition without you, though. I feel like I've sort of wanted to ask and show the fans who you are. You're an incredibly talented human being on and off the field. I would just like to ask for any inspirational advice before we wrap things up, and maybe what you would tell somebody who is looking to further their rugby league career, or somebody who's just looking for some advice in life.
In regards to footy, my journey started later on in my life, and I've been able to sort of get to where I am now by just being persistent in what I wanted to do. And although obstacles may pop up in life, it's always possible to overcome them if you endeavor to do so. So just being persistent and consistent with training, putting in the effort. A massive thing is recovery and rehab as an athlete. Those things, I don't think I'll be playing footy at this age if I didn't look after my body how I have. I wish I had did it at a younger age, but once you learn how to rehab and recovery, it's just such an amazing tool to keep your body intact for such a physical sport. So yeah, being persistent and consistent to chase your dreams, and then also doing all the 1%ers to enable that dream to be prolonged. That would be my advice.
Awesome. And any life advice?
Life advice, just be kind and be a genuine person. I find they're very far and few between to find genuine people that are kind, but genuinely kind. So if I could give any advice to anyone, would just be to be kind, genuinely.
Oh, you hit the spot. There you go. You are one of the rawest. I love it. Thank you so much, Krystal. I really appreciate you coming on board.
No worries. Hey, Katie, I must say you're looking pretty buff. And
yeah, got the shot.
Some weights.
I deliberately wore this shirt. No jokes. Thanks so much, Krystal.
No worries. Thanks, Katie.